Native to India, the axis deer was introduced into Texas around 1932 as a game animal on private ranches. Since their introduction, axis deer have escaped captivity and established themselves in the Lone Star State, with over 6,000 free-ranging animals and 40,000 more kept on private hunting ranges. Baton Rouge attorney John Smith set out on this segment of Louisiana Sportsman TV to spot and stalk free-ranging axis with a bow. Just minutes into the first evening hunt, John spotted a large axis buck heading his way. John tried to make a stalk on the deer, but the axis faded away into the thick West Texas brush.
Still a little early to go chasing one like that. We want a little bit bigger if we can catch one or get up on one. But we came up to him and checked him out. Then we let him relax and get out of here so that we could sneak on out. We're just taking our time. We're not trying to rush things. We're just getting the lay of the land really right now, but we certainly don't want to waste time by spooking deer. You can't unspook a deer. That's our number one rule, particularly on a scout day. So we're gonna take our time, back on out of here, go scout a few more areas, get ready for the next couple of days of hunting.
John then spent the last couple hours of daylight scouting the area before calling it a night and heading to camp. On day 2, John decided to wait for sunrise to continue his spot and stalk approach to hunting axis. The plan was to cover as much ground as possible to determine what areas axis were holding up in.
We're day 2 of scouting, really, in San Angelo, and we are hunting a river bottom this morning, doing a little scouting. There's a couple of crossings in here that have been very active here recently because it's been a little bit dry. This water's been pulling up. I'm gonna go down in here in this bottom and see if we can find a good crossing.
John decided to set up for a while on a river crossing that had plenty of fresh deer sign. After sitting for a couple hours and not seeing anything, he made the call to get back to walking.
We've got a good little front that just came through, dropped some rain on us, about a half an inch or so, and it's cleared out, temperatures dropped. We're gonna do a little bit more scouting. We're just still very early in the hunt. Still trying to locate some axis, so wish us luck and we'll see you in just a minute.
It wasn't long before John came across a very large axis buck feeding in the brush. The key was to get close enough for a shot without getting seen or smelled.
Oh my God.
That's a big boy.
Unfortunately, the wind switched around and the big buck smelled the hunters. They wouldn't see that big buck again for the rest of the hunt. John decided to spend the rest of the evening sitting in a large oat field behind the camp. At the corner of the field, he noticed a large axis buck that came out before dark, but there was no way to make a move on the buck without being seen. So he made a mental note of the location and decided to wait for a better opportunity.
As sportsmen, we seek out the very best craftsmanship in many aspects of what we do. We take great pride in the work we put in because we want the very best results possible. Those same philosophies are how we do things at Smith Shanklin Sosa Law Firm. We craft each case to the individual needs of our client, and we take pride in our work to protect your rights. To schedule a free consultation, just give us a call at 225-223-6333.
After a tough couple days of hunting axis deer in West Texas, John and Louisiana Sportsman TV producer Jared Serenay decided to switch gears and hunt turkeys for a morning. With Jared on the call and John on the bow, they set out after a Texas Rio Grande gobbler. While hunting along a river, they were able to get a turkey to answer their calls. But after only a couple gobbles, the turkey went silent, so they decided to sneak up and see if it was still there. They spotted the turkey strutting on the riverbank. The gobbler had a hen, so it was hard to get it to respond to the call. John decided to make one more maneuver to get within range for a shot. The hen stepped into range, and the hunters hoped the gobbler would follow right behind. But the wily gobbler took another route up the riverbank, and John was unable to get off a shot. No turkey this time. After seeing axis 2 evenings in a row at a bait pile in the corner of the oat field, John decided to build a blind for an evening sit. The first animal to show up for the hunt was a turkey hen. She came within a couple yards of the blind and fed on oats before heading off for the evening. Next up was a pair of healthy white-tailed does. They fed on the bait pile a while before finally realizing hunters were nearby. And then finally, some axis arrived. John held off on shooting these two, hoping the big buck he saw the previous night would show up. The young buck caught sight of something it didn't like and took off, but nothing else showed up. The final day of the trip started like the others. Pick a spot to set up, wait for a while, and hope something comes by. When that didn't pan out, it was time to get a little more aggressive. The plan was to cover as much ground as possible through patches of thick brush. The hunters used the wind to their advantage and moved slowly to not spook any axis. After locating an area with plenty of fresh sign, John spotted a group of deer moving through the brush. Unfortunately, a doe saw John as he was creeping in closer for a shot. She ran off, and the rest of the group followed. With just one evening left, the plan was to go all in on the corner of the oat field. The hunters got settled into the blind early, and a long time passed before they saw anything. The 2 does from the previous evening showed up, only to later get run off by a group of axis. In the group was a younger buck. With no time left to be picky, John would have to take his shot. The group kept moving and didn't offer a really good opportunity. But finally, just before camera light ran out, he was able to get a shot off.
We better get Justin over here. Yeah. Here's my arrow. Here he is. He's dead. Good shot, man.
Hard hunt, huh, buddy?
It was a real hard hunt. Very rewarding hunt, though.
A lot of close encounters. Huh?
We saw a lot of good axis, and got close on a couple of occasions, and just couldn't make it happen. I mean, it seemed like every time we got close, or even close to bow range, something else would bust us. These are absolutely free-range deer. Now this one, it's not by any means a giant, but I tell you what, I'm very proud of him. These deer were introduced, you know, well, they got out of high fences many years ago. Now they free range here in this area. Very hard to hunt. They are very vocal, and if they alert, then the whole herd just takes off, and it doesn't take much to spook them. But really good eating. I'm kind of at a loss of words about the hunt here. I'm so appreciative to all the people that made this happen. Louisiana Sportsman Magazine, my cameraman, Jared Sarang, who's done an excellent job. You really have, buddy. All the sportsmen out there who love to do this. You know, we're all brothers. I mean, we like to do this, and we've got that in common. And so a good hunt ending with a good result, even if it didn't, I had a great time. But it did. I'm proud of this axis buck. We're gonna go back and get the truck and pull him out of here. We'll see you in a bit.